Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a princess dart and here are the measurements we're going to use. So to begin with, from the upper line we're going to draw our shoulder line here. And let me just label this SL shoulder line. Then vertically this side, that's where we'll put our vertical measurement. So shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist and the full length. Then I've gone ahead to label the lines. So that's the bust line, the under bust line, the waist line, and the full length. So to begin with, we're going to work on our neckline. So my neck width is going to be 3.5 inch and the depth is going to be 4 inches for the neck depth. Okay, then go ahead and just curve our neckline like that. Then for my shoulder which was 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches, which I've marked here. Then from this 8 inches, go down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. We're doing this because our shoulders are not straight. Okay, they are kind of slanted. So from this slanted line here, we're going to put down our armhole, which is bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 to find the armhole. Then the line where it ends, this line here, is our chest line. So I'll come back to the armhole and get the midpoint of it, then go in by 0.5 inch. Now we want to curve our armhole. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our bust circumference divided by 4. Then go ahead and mark your answer on your chest line like this. Now this will help us with our armhole curve. So I'm just going to get my curve ruler and curve my armhole like this. Alright, next the nipple to nipple measurement. Mine was 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll mark 4.5 here at the bust line because I've added half an inch allowance. But at the under bust, I'm going to subtract the half inch allowance, making it 4 inches at the under bust. At the waistline 4 inches. Even here we'll mark 4 inches. Then you can go ahead and join these lines like this. So the 4.5 inch allowance that we put at the bust line is because your bust area is larger, so it needs more space. Then from here come down by 1 inch from your bust line. This is to prevent pointy edges at the nipple part of your bust. Then go out by 2 inches here if you're a medium size, or you can get your bust circumference, subtract your under bust, then divide that answer by 2 to find your dart intake. So I'll be using 2 inches dart intake. Then go ahead and join this line to this point like this. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come to the armhole. Go ahead and get the curve of the armhole from the beginning up to where the armhole curve ends. Then get the midpoint of this line. So I've gotten the midpoint of the line and I'm going to connect it to the bust line like this. Then we're going to form our armhole dart. So for the armhole dart, I'm going to use 1.5 inch. So I'm going to divide the 1.5. So 0.75 will be put on the upper part and 0.75 on the lower part, making our dot 1.5. So the 1.5 has been shared equally to make our 1.5 dot. Then come out by 1 inch from the bust line, come out by 1 inch, then go ahead and draw your dot like this. Then this 1.5 dot is what I'm going to use to extend this armhole dot by 1.5 inch like this. Okay, so use the same amount, the same dot measurement you used is what you're going to use to extend your armhole dart. So replace your dart allowance of 1.5 inch here like this. So as you can see, I've replaced the dart allowance and I'm going to just join it to this part. So this new curve will prevent us from running out of fabric when sewing. Okay, then at the chest line, put 2 inches for your sewing allowance. Then we go to the bust line. Divide by 4, which is 10. Then my under bust is 35.5 divided by 4, which is 8.87, 8.89, which I'm going to place here. 8.89 plus the 2 inches allowance. Then this dart, you also place it here, the 2 inches. So your measurement plus 2 inches for sewing allowance plus 2 inches for the dart intake. Then even my waist was 34 divided by 4, which was 8.5, which I've placed there, plus 2 inches for the dart allowance and 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Then we can just replicate these measurements here on the bottom. Okay, so we'll come back to the bust line and under bust line. At this moment, when drawing our straight line, we're going to concentrate on the chest line and the waistline. Okay, as you can see, the bust line will be shorter, so just use the chest line and the waistline to draw out your side seam line like this. So I'm going to put in 2 inches hemming allowance here at the bottom. Okay, we had just put the full length without putting the hemming allowance, so that's just what I've added at the bottom. Then here on top at the shoulder line, we're going to put in the allowance at the shoulder of 0.5 inch for the joining of the shoulders. Then you can go ahead and extend your dart line down up to the hemming allowance here at the bottom. So this is our front piece, of which we are done, and now we're just going to cut it out. So you're going to cut it out like this. Okay, and we are done with our front pieces. So here is how they have turned out. Now we can go to the back. So I left out zipper allowance this side, and I just labeled the lines as I did on the front piece. I'll go ahead and measure the width of the neck, which is 3.5, and then for the neck depth I'm using 2 inches for my back neckline. Then go ahead and just curve your neck. Then at this point, 8 inches for my shoulder line, go down by 1 inch, then make your shoulder slope. Then we can go ahead and put in our armhole, which is 8 inches. Then draw horizontally your chest line for the back piece. So since we're making a princess dart, we're going to come to the bust line. My nipple to nipple measurement is 4 inches plus 0.5 inch at the bust line. Then here at the under bust, use 4 inches. Even at the waistline, use 4 inches, 4 inches. So at the bust line, we used 4.5, just like we did for the front piece. Then join the lines like this. Then for curving of your armhole, we're going to put in our bust, divide by 4, which was 10, which we've marked on the chest line. Then on the mid, get the midpoint of your chest, of your back armhole like this. Then just make a curve like this. So for where you want your princess dart to be placed, it's dependent on you. You can put it at the center, but from the center I'm going up by 1 inch like this, and I've dropped this line is at 3 inches, okay, because I want my princess dart at the back to be a little bit at the top of my armhole. So go ahead and join this line to the bust line like this. Then from here we're going to extend this line by 1 inch like this. Note that this 1 inch is just so that you do not run out of fabric when sewing. So I'm going to get my curve ruler and just curve this line to the point where the other armhole reached, to the exact point like this. That's the difference with the front armhole. So I decided to make a straight line like this instead of a curved one. I decided to straighten out my line. So I'm just cancelling out this curved line. Then we can now put in the allowance, the sewing allowance to the chest line. So 2 inches is what I'm going to add here for the sewing allowance. Then at the bust line, that was 40 divided by 4, which is 10 inches plus 2 inches. Mark at 12. Then I'll just go at the waistline. So 8.5 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, which I'm going to add here. And I'll just drop the same measurement on the full length like this, and go ahead and join your lines. Then you can go ahead and put in 2 inches for our hemming allowance, and I've also put 0.5 inch at the shoulder line, as you can see. Then you just cut it out like this. So back to the back piece, go in by 0.5 inch, then draw a slanted line from the neckline up to where the 0.5 inch is. This is to avoid the bulginess at the zipper area, and just cut it out like that. And here are our pieces. Don't miss out on the sewing tutorial of this pattern.